Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you all know, I'm Glow with NG. For those of you stopping by for the first time, welcome. I'm so glad you choose to join us. For my returning subscribers, I love you so much. Thank you for staying tuned. So I'm going to be running a series of a tagged video for my channel, hopefully for as long as it would take. I'm going to be inviting the top Abuja makeup artists, as many that will accept to come on to my channel. So starting with me on the first series is someone I've always adored. She was actually a role model to me. I knew her right from secondary school and I kept on following up with her. So I actually trained with her for I think a week. Yes, during my break, and I had to go back to school and all. So she has been someone I admire. She's no other person but Monette's beauties. Please welcome her with so much love. This is Monette Beauty. So just say something to.
Hi guys, I'm Monette and I'm happy to be here to do her makeup and talk about my makeup journey. It's been a long one, so I'll be answering all her questions, and yeah, that's it. So stay tuned and please subscribe to her channel.
Thank you so much. So like she said, yeah, it's going to be a series of questions I should be answering, so stay tuned with us. Enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, leave a comment, a question, whatever it is, and I'm sure she'll be willing to answer.
Sure.
Thank you.
So I'm just cleaning her face so that I can get her face ready for whatever product I'm going to use on it. A lot of times, like as time has gone on, I've just understood better that your makeup is better when your skin prep is better. Like you have to use good skin prep products. So even if you're using like a medium end product or a high end, either ways your makeup comes out very nice. So I'm just going to cleanse her face with wipes. First of all, I'm still going to use a cleanser. So I'm using this cleanser from Ganier. She's going to put everything in your description box. Yes. So all the products will be there. I'm using this cleanser and I'm just going to use a cotton pad. I don't think it's wise for you to use a cotton wool because it always leaves like residues or things on it. So it's best to use a cotton pad to cleanse the face. So I'm just going to cleanse very well because sometimes even if they don't have makeup on their face, the skin has to be very, very clear, very clear.
So I can ask your first question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so our first question for today is, introduce yourself briefly. Other than being a makeup artist, who is Monette's Beauty?
Well, okay, other than being a makeup artist, okay, I don't even know. I've just always loved makeup. It's just been makeup. I'm using my toner now from Zaron. I really love this toner. Please tone your client's face. Please, it's very important. Okay, so my name is Fatima. That's my main name. Monette is just a business name. So I love God. I'm a Christian. I love things about God. I take it very personal. I love makeup. What else? I love my family. I'm a friendly person. I love to say and I think. I don't know. So that's basically it. I'm such a boring person too sometimes. Forget social media. Social media is just, I don't know, it's a different whatever, but yes, that's basically it about me.
Okay, but I feel sometimes people think makeup artists are dropouts. So I think
Yes.
you should still tell them.
Okay, yes. Well, true. I had someone ask me one time that, are you sure makeup is what you want to do? Which school did you go to? So when I told her I went to a private university, she was like, private university? And then you want to do makeup? It's like, I don't know, they mean it, although it's better now. So yeah, I actually studied business administration in Madonna University. And
such a pricey school.
And mean school, but bro, we thank God we're here. But yes. And then what again? Yeah, I studied business administration. After that, I knew I wanted to do makeup because I was doing it in school and I wasn't collecting money. But you know, when I was done with school, I went for my service. I worked for a year actually. I worked for a year, but I just wasn't happy doing that job. Because I just felt like the stress I was putting into the job, I could just put it into something that I love and I'll get paid for it. So yeah, that was it.
That's nice. So how did the vision start?
My mom was just like, it's always been there, but to make money from it, my mom pushed me. And the time I stopped, she was just like, no, you can't stop, you need to do this thing. And I was gingered to do it. So basically, she saw the vision more than me, and then I just went with her. Like, she just needed that something would come out of it, and I went ahead. So I'm using my serum now from Zaron Cosmetics. They have one of the best serums. Just, it helps to hydrate the skin. So I'm just using my serum from Zaron Cosmetics to just apply on the skin. You can use your hands, but even if you're using your hands, make sure your hands are very clean. Like, I always wash my hands before I start makeup, because sometimes for the skin purposes, I always just use my hand. Okay, so what's your next question?
Okay, our next question is, was it basically a solo push from the beginning?
No, it wasn't a solo push. Like I said earlier, it was my mom that gingered me. I feel like she wanted to do it. So I'm going to use my moisturizer. It's a moisturizer and a primer from Embroyolise. The name is Embroyolise, and it's really good. Like, this is one product I have used for at least 5 years since I've been doing makeup. This is one product I have used, and I still use it because it's one of the best. It's a hydrating, moisturizing primer. So the next question, please.
Okay, we're not done with your first question. You said it was basically your mom?
Yeah, it was basically my mom, actually. She really pushed me, honestly. Like, I just give all the credit to her. Even when I got the private job, as at that time, she was just like, are you sure you really want to do it, or you do makeup? So yeah, it wasn't just one solo thing. I had a lot of support from family and my mom, yes, my friends too. So yeah, so it's basically everyone around me.
Okay. So our next question is brief on how your journey started and how it's going.
Okay, how it started from school. I was just doing it for my best friend in school. I wasn't collecting money, and I was helping people buy makeup, actually, because I used to live in Lagos then. So after school, during the holidays, I'll buy makeup for everybody, and then they'll pay me. So yeah, started that way, and then after school, continued. But this time around, I went to a professional makeup school, and then I started training to do it professionally as a business, as a career, and it's been going, so far it's been going fine. I haven't changed my mind. Sometimes I want to, but I mean, is there really anything you do that's not challenging? So yeah, it's going good, to the glory of God.
Okay, what was your first experience standing alone?
I was very nervous, very, very nervous, very nervous. I don't know, the thing with makeup is that once people are paying you, they feel like you're rendering a service. So people that are not nice feel like they can control you or talk to you rudely. So that was the challenge I had, and the first time I was alone, I wasn't with my boss then. First time I went for a job alone, it was just, I don't know, it was ridiculous for me, but I cried. I've cried many times. Like, when I started, there was even a time I said I wasn't going to collect the money from my client because of how mean she was. But I mean, all I can say is the first time I was alone, it was a good job, but then again, I just felt like my client then tried to just intimidate me. You get, I'm paying you, so do it this way or do it that way. But I mean, it's still a lesson. It has brought me so far here where I am now.
Okay, but this is not part of our written questions. Would you like to tell us who you trained with?
Okay, the first person I trained with, Her name is Kofo. That's all I can remember. I think she has even stopped doing makeup, but it was Aljabi. I've forgotten the name of the plaza. And then I think I paid 40K for my train. It was my mom that paid, and it was a good one. that was like 2012, because I actually trained first. Immediately I finished from school, and then I didn't do for a year or so. I didn't do anything about makeup. That was when I started working in a private firm. After my service, I worked in a private firm before I went back to makeup again. So it was like a process. So I'm going to use my Mehron skin prep. Please, this is a must-have. I know I've said everything is a must-have, but this is very important. It helps your makeup to last long. And it's like a stop sweat. It holds back sweat. I mean, at least 50 to 60%, and it's very good. It's a skin toner, but also like it holds makeup very well. So it is very important. I think it's like my third bottle this year. I go on and on with it. So I just majorly apply. Sometimes I apply all over the face, but because this is the Harmattan season or period, I want to use a hydrating primer. So I don't want her face to look very mattified. I'm trying to create a dewy look. So I'm just going to apply this on the T-zone, which is probably where she might sweat first, if she's going to sweat. It's probably be around here. So I'm just going to put this toner, this Mehron Skin Prep Pro, on her T-zone, and I'll go in with my hydrating primer on the other part of her face. So just very little, since I'm not using so much. And then I'm just going to use this on the T-zone.
So our next question will be, how did you build your market audience?
Very, very good question. Well, Instagram has been I feel like I'm supposed to, I already paid them. I feel like I'm supposed to personally thank the owner of Instagram. But that was when I started. Instagram came out like 2012, 2013. So it was just so easy. Your audience, to get people to see your page. I think it was only once I did a flyer the first time. Everything was on Instagram, Facebook. People were telling me, oh, I got your number on Instagram, I saw your page, I like what you're doing. Everything on social media. So it was very easy. But now Instagram is so hard. You can't even get likes, you can't get views. It's ridiculously hard.
You're beginning to fake everything now.
Yes, you're beginning to fake everything. So it wasn't really hard for people to find me and for me to find other makeup artists. It was easier then than now. So what's the question again?
Your market audience.
Yes. So it was Instagram that helped me to build my market audience, and then referrals actually. So when I do makeup for one person, they'll tell me, oh, I saw the makeup you did on this person, and it just went on and on like that. So my main audience has been social media and referrals. I don't have a card. I think it was only once I did a complimentary card or a flyer, and then I was starting out, so I was looking for all the ways and strategies to build my makeup brand or page for people to get to know what I do.
Okay, sorry, I would want us to throw more light to the previous question. I just remembered we didn't pick the highlights I made. Like when I said, how was the experience standing alone, was like your shop, how you started to be on your own. Like, what was it like? Did you experience maybe a no sales for a period of time? How do people get to know your shop and all those?
Okay, so the first shop I had, first of all, my first challenge was the person I was working for. I was so afraid because the place I got was around the same Gariki. It wasn't even close to her. But the fact that it was in Gariki, I felt like, oh my God, will she think I'm betraying her or this or that? I felt somehow, but that was me just mixing business with being sensitive, because she was quite far from me. And then my first shop, I rented a space actually. I didn't have a shop. When I started out, I didn't have a shop, and that was when social media was growing. So I still needed to have a place. You understand? If I had known, the way it is now, some makeup artists work from home. Or they can come and do home service for you. Then I didn't have that knowledge. I just felt I had to have a place. So I rented a shop. a space actually in a salon, and I was collecting makeup there for like 3K, 5K. It was ridiculous. I'm telling you, it was crazy. But I had, okay, one of my friends then was in UK, so he always bought me makeup products. So it's not like the money I was making from makeup was what was buying
You
my
need
product.
to buy your product.
Exactly. So that was my own grace. I'll call it grace. But yes, I was paying 20K for that space, and I was collecting 3K or 5K from people. My home service then was 7K. So yes, I would advise that you start, no matter how small, you start, right? If you cannot rent a space, you can have, if you have your own room or house and there's a small corner, fine, that works just fine. But yeah, my first shop was in a salon.
Okay. At some point, you also used like the lounge in the house or something.
Yes.
So how did people
I've
really
done-
recognize that
Even
space?
yes, even till recently, before I got a new space, because I just moved out, I was working from home. It was crazy. My clients were like, Monette, you're here, you're here. I'm like, manage with me now. You know that my work is good, so just bear with me.
Okay, so it was a struggle.
Yes, it was a struggle. Back when we used to live in Gary Key, I used to do makeup in our corridor. It was ridiculous, but people came. That's the thing. If you're good at what you do, people will find you. I know it might sound like a broken record or very cliche, but it's the truth. I did makeup in my house corridor, so it's not like there was AC there. So it was natural breeze and fan that we're using because I couldn't do it in the parlor. Do you get? So I did makeup in my house, and recently when I was trying to get a new space, a new shop space, I had to do makeup for like a month in my house now. So people will find you if you're good at what you do. It just works that way. So this is my hydrating primer. It's quite pricey, but I think it's really good. I don't use it every time. It's just because of the weather now. I wouldn't advise you apply any mattifying primer because the weather is already, I don't know, a bit harsh. So it's best you go with primers that are hydrating and soft. It's a grip primer. Like, this is a proper bridal prep product, but I use it this period because of the harmattan. I see it's jelly like, so it's very mild on the skin, like super mild. So I'm going to apply this all over her face, aside her T-zone, because I already put Mehron there.
So what were your fears and how did you overcome them?
I had a lot of fears though, a lot. I had a lot of fears. I will not even lie.
You're permitted to list just 3.
Okay. First of all, I was like, am I good enough? That was one. Secondly, I know people say, oh no, competition, when you try not to be competitive with anybody, but sometimes it just happens, especially when unconsciously. So it's something that you have to accept that it happens, and then you now work on yourself. So yes, I had there was the competitive side. Sometimes it was like, oh, I started before this person and now this person has blown before me. So that was very draining mentally. Actually, it had to take growth and just looking at other people and hearing from other makeup artists that everybody's time is different. You get? So I think that was the second fear. You know, doing it like, it now started to feel like makeup was a competition. It didn't feel
it was
true.
a business,
It was
a means of income.
Exactly. So you have to go back to, oh, I loved what I started with. It's my passion and all of that. The third one, failing. God, fear of failing or not making it in this life. Oh God, I think I still have that sometimes. Well, it's a good thing, and then it has its good side and its bad side, because when you have the fear of failing, you are consistent with what you do. You push yourself harder. So I think that one has more advantages than disadvantages, actually.
Okay, you mentioned fear of failing. Would you say you are where you want to be right now, or there's still somewhere you're going to?
There's still somewhere. Very well said. There's still somewhere. I'm still going. I have things that I still want to do. Still in the makeup sector, actually, because like I love it. I've tried doing other things. It's just okay. It's okay, but I could just jump up and do makeup. I know that I have true passion for it. So yeah, I'm still in the makeup line, and then I'm still pushing myself. I feel any human being that is content with where they are is, I don't know, you don't have desire or drive. You just always need more. You need to push yourself more. So yeah, fear of failing helps you to realize more things that you can do. So now our face is dry. When I say dry, it's not like it's completely dry. You can see that it's still moist. That's the essence of using hydrating primers and not using matte primers, especially this season, like I said. So for foundation, I'm going to be using, I'm going to use Huda Beauty and Maybelline. Those are my two foundations actually. If you check my bag, Huda Beauty, Maybelline Super Stay or Fit Me, and NARS. But my NARS is just majorly for dark skin. So yeah, that's basically it. And then we're going to swipe to check her shade. I'm not a magician. I don't know. I can't just see your face and know your shade. I have to check. I know we still have to check with the face, the neck, the hands. So we're just going to do some swatches and see what works for her. So I'm just going to use my Fix Plus. Remember I said we're doing a dewy look. So I'm just going to use this spray to make the foundation melt in to her skin. Close your eyes. And this just everywhere basically. And then I use this mini fan. Please, this fan is a must-have. It's very important.
Everything here is
very important actually. Must-have. I use Nuban. It's a Nigerian brand. I use Huda Beauty. This has super full coverage, and I use Juvia's too. So just anyone that works for you, they are all really good concealers. So we're just going to, it's not like it's going to completely dry off, it's just so it melts in her skin. So I'm just going to apply very little here and here. The inner corner of her eyes is advisable, it's bright. So you don't, when I apply concealer on under her eyes, I'll apply some here like the rest of it, because if I'm just going to take my beauty sponge to start blending, I'll probably be taking off what I've already applied on her face. So the tip is to always have some on the back of your palm or something. So the next shade I'm using, I'm going to use two shades, is slightly darker than this one, or warmer, not darker. I hope you can see it. Yeah, but it's warmer than this. So I'm just going to continue with this shade, touch a bit of it, look up, and blend.
Okay, so what has been your worst client experience?
Last story.
Yeah, plenty, right?
No, but there's one I can never forget. I've had so many, but there's one I can never forget. The lady, right? I think I don't know what she is now, but then she was a senator or something. She was in a high position, or I don't know, one big woman shop. She had the orderly, the staff and everything. So I went to do her makeup, and I think I charged her 10K for home service. So I started doing the makeup, and from the beginning of the makeup, I left my house very early. I started the makeup like 7, and she complained from the beginning of that makeup till the end. And when I was done, she said, "What's this rubbish? Clean my face. My daughter can do better." And her daughter was like, "Mommy, no, she did a good job." She said, no, you can do better than this. And I was just frustrated. I went alone. I went for the job alone. There was nobody to encourage me.
Wait, you actually cleaned it?
No, I didn't clean. She went out with the makeup. That was the job that I went for. That I said, I don't want the money. And her orderly was, her staff, one of them, they were like, "See, just collect your money. This is how our madam is. If you do like this, now you go vexed, because she go call you again." That kind of thing. So I just collected my money and then I left. But I cried that morning. it was just, the woman made me feel so bad. She was complaining, she was holding a mirror. It was such a horrible job, but it has made me stronger. That's all I can say. So I prefer to contour with foundations. Actually, I don't like to use concealers to do my contouring. I just feel it's lighter. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but yeah, I actually prefer to use foundations to contour.
Don't mind the old school Monette. She has mixing pan, but
yeah, please.
The hand is just the fastest and quickest way.
And to be honest, that's the first time I carried that pan. So it's just for formality. This is it. This is my work space. I cannot do without my hand. Thank God I have hands, because this is where everything happens. So I'm just going to go from this side of her face up until her forehead area, all the way. Actually, there are a lot of makeup artists that don't do cream contour, but I am obsessed with it. I feel it defines the face more. Everything cream just defines the face. It gives it more structure. So I rather cream than even just using only powder, contours, or highlight.
Okay, so our next question is, what is the makeup industry in Nigeria like for you?
I think it's good. I think it's really good. We've grown so much. We are not just, I don't know. One thing with Nigerians that I would say is that we're very consistent, pushy, and like we just go for it. Nigerians, maybe because a lot of us are opportune, well, or 50% of us are opportune to travel out, so you get to see the way they are doing it in the Western world, and then you will say, if I bring this thing back home, to make sense. And Nigerians like good things. We have big eye, so our industry has grown so far. Like, you have celebrities coming from outside the country, and then they don't have to travel with their own makeup artist, because I mean, they trust, yes. So it has grown well, and Nigerians travel to do brush up classes. It's ridiculous. That's to show how much passion we have for just business, hustling. It's just enough.
Okay, but so the area of the product, the Nigerian brand product.
Yes.
What do you think?
We've grown. We have grown so well. Initially, when it started as brands were sending out their products for people to just, market. Now, I go to buy Nigerian products like by myself with my money. This is not any brand. They can send to me the first time. Once it's good, I go and buy over and over again. When my students start training, we actually start with half of the brands they start with are like Nigerian brands, and that is what I use to. I open my box for them to see. This is what I will use. I wouldn't refer something that I wouldn't use to them. So I think with products, we have gone very, very far. So this is cream highlight and contour. After this, okay, so yeah, I'm going to do my cream blush. I'm obsessed with that. I mean, you can just use any lipstick of yours to as a cream blush. It works just fine, trust me. This is a bit orangey. I think this is I don't know, but well, your shade of blush. So I'm just going to use very little, because very little goes a long way actually. And then this comes in between. This is my highlight here, this is my contour. Smile please. This comes in between. I'm just going to press in. I'm going to go in with a dewy spray. Okay, so I'm using the NYX Dewy Finish. You can also use any normal spray you get. I'm just using this dewy one. Just works for me. Close. This helps your makeup to set in more and more.
What do you think is or are your signature parts of your makeup?
People always tell me my brows. I don't know. People always say your brows. I have had clients tell me, it's because of your brows I'm booking you. Your money is too much.
Okay, oh my god. So what? You should charge them for only brows. Another person will come.
Yeah, this your money is too much. It's because of your brows. I say, madam. You know, I don't even know when.
I've not heard that.
I'm telling you. So now that my foundation, my highlight, and my contour, and my cream blush is setting, look up. If you look at her face, we have lines that are already creasing, and that's because we're talking. Even if you're not talking, normally once you're doing other things on other parts of the face, it's only normal that the foundation would, the concealer would move. There's no magic. There's no, you go and watch YouTube videos, go for classes. There's no magic for your concealer not to stay. As far as you look down and up, your concealer will have lines. So the best tip is to, before you put your setting powder, I think I prefer to use my hand, before you use your setting powder, make sure you blend again. So I'm just going to touch what I have left, look up, and then I'm just going to press in again. So you can tell your client to look at the ceiling, because a lot of times when you say look up, they take their head off. No, you don't have to take your head up. They just take their head up. Exactly, they take their head up. Meanwhile, it's just their eyes you want. So all you need to do is just tell them look at the ceiling, and then it's easy for you to press. But with this, make sure your highlight is close to you, so that as her eyes are up, it's just easy for you to get your baking powder or setting powder and just fetch from it, dust off excessive, and apply.
So moving on to our next question, or you just want to briefly tell them where we are so far?
Okay, so now we're just contouring. Everything we did with the highlight process, the cream process, we're doing it with the powder process. So the way we put a light concealer under her eyes with cream, we put foundation on her cheekbone with that's liquid, everything cream, we're going to go into the powder process of it. So now we've applied the powder process, the powder shade of the highlights. Now we're doing the contour part. So I'm just using the same shade of the foundation I used. I'm using the same shade of powder. I hope you guys got to this part sharp. But yeah, so we're just contouring basically.
And you can ask questions in the comment section.
Yes, I'll be glad to answer.
Okay, so our next question is, if you should choose a top makeup artist in the foreign industry, who would it be?
King Mali Magic. I hope I got her name. I don't know. She's a Nigerian, but she's an amazing makeup artist. I think she lives in America. Yeah, she lives in America. No, I think. Then there's also Color du Jour. I hope I'm getting their names correctly. About these people, because they work on like our complexion, our kind of skin, women of color, you understand? So they work just fine. I love Kim Kardashian and her makeup artist, but I feel like our skin tones, we're Africans, you know, they work in a lot of black, dark-skinned people, you get. So I love King Mali Magic's makeup. She actually came to Lagos one time for like a master class, but it was those that were in Lagos that enjoyed. No money to fly to Lagos, book hotel, and attend the class again. But I mean, we still learned from people that learned from her. So yeah, but those are some of my favorites. I follow a lot of makeup bloggers, but these two I mentioned, they're my favorites. So I'm going in with blush now. Sometimes I prefer to sweep under the eyes so it doesn't cake. Later I can reapply my highlight, and I'm just using my powder palette from V Beauty. You can use any powder you like, you know what that works for you, but I'm using a light shade. Look up. Okay, so I'm just going to spray her face so that all the powdery things we've applied will just melt into her skin. I think one of the most important parts of makeup, brows. Sometimes I like to use my pencil, but sometimes I like to use my brow gel. Whatever works for you, actually. I've just realized that makeup is just really what works for you. We didn't trim her brows. I'm not particular about it because most of my clients are Muslims and they don't like to trim their brows, so I just got used to drawing without trimming unless my clients ask me to. But I mean, I can still get a pretty good brows without trimming. So the first step is I'm going to use this brow, no, it's for the hair actually, but it works for my brow perfectly. I used to buy brow trimmers, but now that I know this works, I can use this for 1 year without buying any brow trimmer because it's basically the same thing. So I'm going to put a small amount here and just use it to arrange my brow hair. So it just helps to make the brow hair stand. I'm reducing it here because I don't want to just touch from here and apply here, so it's not too much. It's better you have lesser product on the face and then you can add more than for you to have too much and then you're trying to reduce, because makeup is not something you can clean per se. Powder I have left on my beauty sponge and like on the cover, I'm just going to use it to, it helps me to set my brow in place and to actually tint my brow. Just helps to tint the brow. So now we're ready to draw. It is the Nubia brow tint from Hydra, and it's actually a Nigerian brand. So I would say half of my products are Nigerian brands and they are really good. That's what we have access to, and I'm glad that they're making it like worth it.
So we can trust them 100%.
Yes, I would say that you can. You can trust them 100%. So I'm just going to use my foam. Just get any powder foam so that you can relax your hand on the face. And I always flatten this out, please, always. And then I'm just going to go in just a straight line actually. Nothing extra. So now I'm going in with a brow tint from Yanga Beauty, another Nigerian brand, and it's just going to help me to tint my brow to a lighter shade. You can see the way it has changed it. Makes it look more defined, pretty flawless. I think it's like a proper dupe for the MAC Cosmetics brow tint, like a proper dupe. So using concealer from Juvia Split. I got to just saw this pattern. Juvia's voice. So now I'm just going in with another shade of setting powder. Look up, this one is more like her exact tone. And that's because I'm ready to apply eyeshadow. So just very little. Please always dust off excessives. For my eyeshadow primer, I'm using the P. Louise base. Initially I had up to 5 of it, but that was unnecessary. One of it is just fine, works fine for you. I think this is Romo 01, works for dark skin, light skinned, chocolate, anybody, just works fine.
Okay, for this, before I close my eyes, what has been the training sector of your business like?
Okay, by training, like me teaching other people.
You teaching and you learning.
Okay, so for me learning, I think what I promised myself was every year I go for a brush up class, online or maybe physically. Like then when I started, I used to travel to Lagos every year to do, I think like 3 years or two. The first one was Oshewa Beauty, the other one was Brega. I went for Flawless Faces by Jane's master class. I would go to any length to learn more. But now that the WhatsApp thing is like a trend, I've gone for so many, so many. Whether you don't use Instagram to judge whether somebody is good or not. To be very honest, somebody that is good is good. So I've attended many classes online because they are new trend. It was on one of the WhatsApp classes I went for that I saw that, oh, you can use your concealer as your lipstick, and I was like, you see new things every day. So for getting more knowledge is power, and that's what puts you ahead of any competitor or competition you think you're in. So the more you know, the more you are, advanced in your skill. So yes, I go for trainings, and then I train too. Although training is very stressful for me, to be honest. I think it's stressful for every makeup artist, because if you want to calculate it, you say, okay, I'll train season for 2 weeks. That means 2 weeks every day I'm going to the studio. Meanwhile, that amount on a good day, you can get that amount in 2 or 3 jobs. Do you understand? So, but I love to teach, and I love to teach till you learn. To be honest, a lot of people that have trained with me before, they somehow still come back. Hey, if I want to do this, if I want to do that, and of course,
I can justify to that.
and of course, I would still always welcome them. Still, even teach the things I just learned. I will share it with them. So I'm just blending in my primer very well. Please always beg your clients to close their eyes. It's very, very, very important. I'm going to use this actually. So I'm using my palette from James Charles, the Muff and James Charles palettes, which is a fave. I feel like it has everything. Easy breezy. So I'm just going to go in with this shade first. Always dust off your excesses, please. And then I'm going to start with the outer corner of my lid and to my crease. So the brush I'll use to apply this is not the brush I'll use to blend out. So I'm going to take a clean brush to just blend it out. Now I'm touching this shade to blend out. So you don't have any harsh lines. So I'm just going to keep building up shades. I started with this orange shade. With this brush, I'm going to go in with the same brush again to this shade. And you can see it's deeper. So every time I apply a new shade, I'll make sure I'll blend my new shade out. This is very, very, very important. Like, this is the key part of the eyes. I'm using my eyeshadow Too Faced Born This Way, and this is my favorite nude now. I could also use this, but I think we'll go with this. Let me see. Okay, okay, so let's do this shade. I think it's brighter. God that will help me shine, but yes, but that's. So I'm going to be using the chunky glitters from MK Beauty. I think I have mentioned a lot of Nigerian brands. This is actually a Nigerian brand. Then I'm using my NYX glitter glue or elf. You can use elf too, so whatever works for you. There's just one tip to applying glitters. Okay, so first you can use your hand or a brush. Close your eyes. For the lips, I have all these shades of nudes. I'm not particular about what I use. I just, as the spirit leads, honestly. But I'm going to start with this NYX butter gloss, one of my favorites, and I'm just going to start with the middle part. So I'm just lining. Smack. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with the gloss, and I'll touch a bit from here. I always prefer to just use the bottom part of any of my brushes. Any of my brushes that has like a slim bottom. Done. Any final questions?
Okay, thank you guys for staying tuned. If you're still watching to this point, it means you love us and you really want to know what we have to give to you. So our last question is, what's your advice for upcoming makeup artists?
Well, just stay true to what you love and be consistent. It might sound like a broken record, but be consistent. That's just in anything you're doing, actually. That's like the best thing to do. Sometimes you feel down, discouraged, and whatnot, but be consistent. Somebody will see you. One celebrity will find you. One big person will acknowledge your work. Good things, like, as long as you're doing it, it's going to be known. So be consistent, don't stop, love what you do, and yes, enjoy the process of growth. That's all.
Okay, I think I forgot to ask, have you had a celebrity makeup client before?
Yes, some of them. I've done Tasha's makeup.
Okay,
And
that's true.
yes, she was super nice. Normal. The first time she was just normal. The second time, third, fourth, we now like related well. I also did one celebrity. I'm not going to call her name, but she was quite mean.
Okay, we'll leave
And
that.
yes, she was quite mean, and I was like, no, there's no way I'm going to post it. But I ended up posting the video, but she gave me one.
We're going to search.
But yes, yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, it was a fun section. Thank you, Monette Beauties, for having
Welcome.
us.
Thank you, guys.
And we hope to keep doing this series. So stay tuned. Don't forget to share, like,
And
comment.
subscribe.
Yes.
You know.
Thank you.
All right.